Just kick it. What the fuck are you doing? Let's kick it. Let's just kick it, you know what I'm saying? Turn, man, turn. It's pretty stupid. Stupid little fucker. God damn it, I'm never gonna get out of here. Let's kick it. Big sky. Clouds, strawberries, fields forever. Don't scratch the seat, please, honey. You tear a hole in it. I know what you're doing. You're getting it ready for sleep. For sleep. I know what you're doing. I know when you're doing it for your sleep, honey. Let's just kick it, know what I'm saying? Let's just kick it. Easy wants to just kick it. $86 here today. Let's get it on. just kick it, know what I'm saying? Clouds, strawberry fields. Just kick it, know what I'm saying? Hey Hank, I'm barbecue something live tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna do some ribeye steaks tonight, but grill, which is a no-brainer. I just bought some stuff. Salmon I'm gonna smoke. I found a 3.5 pound brisket, flat. I'm gonna smoke. So salmon, brisket, these ribeye, and then I'm gonna smoke some pork loin, which is a no-brainer too. The only one that takes a little attention and a little bit of knowledge is the brisket. That's just because you can't get it hot or you're screwed. But the other stuff's no-brainer. Pork's easy, salmon's easier. Yeah, I like being back, actually, to tell you the truth. I bought the vultures some tripe too. They had on sale, big packages, tripe. Yeah, I like it down here. It was time to leave there. Here I got a lot of new opportunities, you know, and at this age I feel fortunate for that. Hey, Simple Life, how you doing? You on a little break today? Or today's a day off? I'd just be kicking it, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Trebles. Hank, have you messed around? Have you smoked any food? Have you done that at all? I can tell you all the tricks. I learned everything the hard way. But I got it down now. Oh, cool. Oh, that's cool. What kind of smoke are you using? Actually, you know, Marty's built another house on the property too. We're going to build a custom smoker. I mean, a good one, like 1/4-inch steel, and then nice stylish brick around it, easy to clean out, maintain temperature. I got a cheap smoker that I modified based on YouTube videos. So I got about $450 in mine, $475, which is super cheap, but it works good enough. But it's got a bad design flaw, and that is the way the baffling is between the firebox. I lose like about 10 inches of space because it's just too hot, radiant heat. And the better smokers, I put baffles in and stuff. Oh, you got the egg. I almost bought the egg, but you know, they make those down in Atlanta here. But when I read the customer service, I thought, screw that, I'm not messing with that. They don't return people's calls. Yeah, I've talked to people that like that egg thing though. Oh yeah, that's a trick, holding temperature, you got it. Almost bought an egg, yeah. And I think they rip people off for the accessories, like the pizza cooker and stuff. I mean, I don't mind paying like premium. You know, the one, I've got the Old Country Picos, which is like, I think that's their cheapest smoker, maybe not. Now they have a Brazos there that's way better. It's also, you know, I only paid $250 for my smoker and then a couple hundred more in add-ons, which is a way better smoker. I looked at it, it's the design. I'm gonna try and get that from those guys going into the fall if they don't sell it, because I doubt, it weighs like 390 pounds. I bet they'll have a hard time selling it. I think it's probably part of a deal on a floor model. But I would buy that if I can get it going into the fall when they get cheaper. Oh, you didn't? I'm doing good today. I got a lot done. I'm uploading my videos slowly. And I just went to Walmart, got some stuff. That's my girl. I told you to get ready for that. Just did they use dirty words? Yeah, about $1,000. Yep. Yeah, good for you. I'm glad you like that. Yeah, everything I read on those. They said there was quite a stiff learning curve to that egg. Now, Academy Sports, they've got a knockoff. It's a lot cheaper. I considered that for a while. I got an offset stick smoker, which is like, as rudimentary as you get. You have to babysit it the whole time. But if you look at like these, I try and like get the max out if I do something. That's why I don't have a pellet smoker. I know it's easier, but if you I look at what the guys that win the competition barbecues use and try and like get the poor man's version of that. Oh, that's it. That's nothing. I can give you some practice customers if you want. Yeah, ceramic. Yep. It's funny, you read all this bullshit. If you want a good book on, of course, you got the egg, so that's different than a typical smoker. There's a lot of YouTube videos on that egg. A lot of great info on YouTube. I went ahead and modified mine right out of the chute. It's like, why not? Oh, I extended the stack, put baffles in it, insulated it, the seams. What else did I do? Put a better thermometer in it. Mounted one lower than it came with. No, I bought 100 acres down the street. 1 mile down the street. 100 acres. Yeah, that's exactly right. I usually read a book. Yeah, I don't mind babysitting it because I do something while I'm there. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I'm in a new house. 200 acres. That is all coming out of my damn half of my divorce settlement too, which isn't agreed upon yet. So it's like I split the cash, or I give value of what I bought, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'm on 200 acres now. Yeah, it was a guy, I knew the guy that wanted to sell it. And see, there's 520 acres between me and that Marty and I are trying to buy, but they want too much for it. And half of it's clear cut, it's uglier now. So that, if this works out, we'll have, let me think about this, 6, 7, almost 1,000 acres. The property's slowly going up here. It's went up about 400 an acre since I've been here. Hey, so Simple Life, I got that condo up in Michigan. The guy that owns the golf course behind me wanted to buy it. He gave me a fair offer. And I was going to sell it to him, so I called the attorney. Because this divorce bullshit. It's like, hey, I want to sell this thing. Well, that just happens to be in my name, although I'm still legally married. I said, can I sell it? He said, sure, you can sell it. And then I was just going to sell it, and then I called him again. It's like, hey, I got a private uh, buyer that's going to give me a reasonable offer. I don't need to mess with the real estate and all that bullshit. He said, no way. You need to go through a realtor. You need to list it, because I guarantee your wife's attorney will challenge that and say you made an under the table deal and all this bullshit. And if this ever goes to trial, it's going to put a big question mark, even though you may not have done anything wrong. So I told the guy that, and he's kind of pissed. But what are you going to do? Yeah. I still got a bunch of shit in there I got to move out. I think that I mentioned before, I mean, I lived there 10 years, but I never really liked that place. I don't know whether it's kind of dark because it's a condo and you don't have like windows on the side, you know, because you got condos on each side. And I just never really liked it much. Yeah, it will be more beautiful. That's what he said. He said even if you sell it for more or less, it's like, you know, when it goes through a realtor, the very worst scenario, you just bring in the realtor to testify. It's like, hey, I listed it. This is what we sold it. Here are all the bids we got. Where if I sold it to this guy behind me, it's like, you know, you can allege anything you want. This lawyer constantly tells me, he said, it's not what we know, it's what we can prove. I just said, let's kick it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I went through Gatlinburg the other day, Simple Life. You and Ralph can come and go to Gatlinburg. Get me a plastic Civil War gun. I'll cook you guys some brisket. Salmon. Yeah, I don't really care for that place that much. It's about three, what is it about? I think it's about 4 hours from my house. You can go to, it's a beautiful ride the whole way though. It's not like expressway and stuff. If you look at where I live, Crawfordville, and then you look at Gatlinburg, you can see how I weave up through those other roads. That video, I'm uploading a video, maybe up now, where I'm going through the back roads. That was on the way up to Gatlinburg. Yeah, I'll show you some chicken. I can do it. Sure can. I got it all down. I got all this barbecuing down. I can tell you how to do any of it the best way. Last time I injected the meat with one of those injectors, and I marinated the salmon and I marinated the chicken thighs, and they were good. I mean, really good, smoked. You know, like the food's good, like when you give it to somebody and they say like they'll pay me to cook it for them. I fucked up my first brisket. It wasn't even edible. And then the other one was like all right, and then the third one was really good, and the fourth one was way better. The fifth one was great. Oh, that'll be cool. Oh, thank you. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll sue you for sexual harassment. You'll be able to get away with it though, because the way sexual harassment, I know 2 people with businesses now that just got sued with sexual harassment. I worked on probably 15 of those cases back in the day, you know, for the defense. And I told both those places, if what you tell me is true, they don't stand a chance in hell. The way sexual harassment works is you have to put someone on notice. So if I was working in an office with Simple Life, and every day I came in, it's like, wow, you have a great ass. And she smiled at me and winked, and this went on for 20 years. Then she got pissed at me and filed for sexual harassment. That case would not go anywhere. The way that it works is you have to put someone on notice in writing. And that if it's an employer, they sign it. So Simple Life gets pissed one day after 30 years of telling her she had a nice ass. She goes in there and says, hey, that Tom Reed's a big pervert. All he does is talk about porn and shit. And he told me the other day I had a nice ass. Now, she leaves out the part that I've been telling her she had a nice ass for 30 years and she didn't mind it. But she got mad at me and she acted like it happened for the first time. So through discovery, they want to know, they want to look at the written responses and putting me on notice and putting her on notice, and there isn't any. And I go in, I tell my lawyer, it's like Simple Life's a lunatic. You know, she's down there smoking meth and Baton Rouge all the time. I told her for over 30 years she had a nice ass and she liked it. And then one day she got pissed. Well, that's not sexual harassment. Now, if early on, let's say the first time I told Simple Life that, and they bring me into the office, it's written up, and they bring her into the office, and she acknowledges that she made a complaint, and I do that again, that's sexual harassment. So actually, it's a good statute, it's a good law, because it puts someone on notice. And if it wasn't, everybody everywhere would be getting sued constantly. Yeah. I mean, nowadays, man, it's like crazy, man. It really is. I mean, I wouldn't even, you can, there are sanctions for frivolous lawsuits. Like, say, for an example, in that scenario, Simple Life gets pissed. She gets some stupid ass attorney that's going broke. So he files a lawsuit without doing any due diligence. There are sanctions against that because he has no proof that the legal definition of sexual harassment occurred. And they can, I bet you a judge, they will make them pay my legal fees. And a lot of times there's even sanctions for filing a lawsuit like that. That lawyer should have sat Simple Life down and said, hey, look, can I see the paperwork for when you put Mr. Reed on notice? Well, she doesn't have any. He shouldn't have filed the suit. So there's a lot of like nuances and stuff like that in lawsuits. Yeah. And then I'll say Simple Life is I said Simple Life uses terms like that all the time. She said laughing my ass off. She was sexually harassing me. And then they bring Simple Life and me into the office and they say, Simple Life, evidently you were saying something to Mr. Reed the other day about laughing your ass off. It's like I did. Yeah, I'm a Christian. I did say that, but I didn't mean anything by it. It's like, well, how about just say laughing and leave ass out of it? And we're going to have you sign this. Mr. Reed was highly offended. Yeah, no problem. No problem. I only know it from, working on it in lawsuits for the defense. I'll give you an example. I've mentioned this before. I have the people that I know that own the Tim Hortons in West Branch. They don't own it anymore, but they did. And the male's brother owned like 5 of them, about an hour away. So about 10 years ago, they're going to have a golf outing. It was like, and here's another thing: just because you're doing good deeds, good works as a Christian, you're not exempt from typical laws. Here's an example. So it's an all-male stag golf party. And, you got girls running around with their tits hanging out and short shorts and killer bodies. The kind of place I'd like to be on a hot day for sure. And you're ogling them, they're giggling, and you're getting fucked up, and they're bringing you drinks, and you're giving them $20 and say, where should I put this? And they point down to their navel. They're their bikini line, say right there. And the whole thing did, they wanted to make it a really good time. In other words, all the guys, and there's a lot of good looking women there. It's a no-brainer. So they went to a local strip club and they said, hey, we're going to have like a 6-hour golf thing for charity. And we're willing to, depending on what it's sex or any of that shit, it would put the strip clubs barring for liquor law violations. It's a big issue. So all they knew, but by and large, I used to tell people all the time, women that'd be bitching that their wife didn't like them in a strip club. It's the safest place they could be. Well, it's not like that anymore, but it was back then. So, serving drinks. Everybody has a great time. The girls make crazy tips because they encouraged the guys to, tip these girls. They're here, their tits and ass are hanging out. That's worth something. 6 months later, they get sued for sexual harassment. It's like, sexual harassment? What are you talking about? This was a stag golf event. These girls were hired from a strip club, and it was a lot of sexual innuendos and all this bullshit. Well, of course, the attorney alleged that it didn't matter what they did for a living, and just because they were strippers for a living didn't mean that they were exempt from sexual harassment. They settled for $165,000 because you're scared to death you're going to go in front of a jury and they're going to say, this guy told me, it looked like I had a big nipples, and this guy told me like to shove it up my ass, and all of a sudden, you're getting a $3 million verdict because the judge doesn't allow them to tell the jury that these were strippers. You see how you can get fucked in these lawsuits? So strippers sue for sexual harassment. All about the money. That's exactly right. Yep. All about the money. No, but I waited to tell the story. You heard it. You heard it at the end, didn't you? Got some nice clouds here today. I'm headed home. I went to Walmart and got some stuff. Got some KY jelly. On the road again. Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit like that. Lawsuits. I mean, if I worked in an office environment now, I wouldn't even tell women they look nice or any of that shit. I wouldn't hug anybody, no fucking way. I mean, it's just the way it is nowadays. Yeah, I'll sell it easy. People already want to buy it. It's just I didn't really know what it was worth, and there's a bunch of shit in there, and I was super unmotivated, so I don't really care about the condo, to tell you the truth. I don't care what it sells for, but I'm not worried about it. I already got the taxes paid. I got like small utility bills, no big deal really. On the road again. Sexual harassment. Oh, a bunch of bullshit. And really, if you look at like flirting, that could be considered sexual harassment. This hugging has gotten people in all sorts of trouble places. Oh, thank you. Really, it has got people in a lot of trouble. Sexual harassment. Sexual harassment. Hey, Simple Life, are you liking that job, or is it blow a big one? Yeah, I know people like that. Fucking hug. They want to hug all the time, and I hate it, to tell you the truth. I think they notice on my face as I cringe. Even if they're good looking, I don't really like it. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. The job sucks. At least you're honest. I'll try and find Marty's got a lot of connection. I'll try and find you a good job where you can work from home. You and Ralph need to get on OnlyFans, become